I found some nifty plants while I went on a walk earlier today, like this Sacred Datura wrighty, and this one even has like some purple around, which apparently means that it's either nutrient deficient or not getting enough water, which makes sense considering this is out in the riparian zone and it's really only getting like ambient humidity and rare rainfall. But it's still just a really beautiful flower, and it's going to seed pretty prolifically. Like, there were a lot of little thorn apples here on it. And full disclosure, this is a super toxic plant. Do not do what I'm doing. I handle this all the time, so I'm familiar with it, but you really should not just go touching this plant. Like, it's not gonna put you on the midnight train to Georgia or anything, but you are gonna have a bad time if any of the toxins get into your bloodstream. It is native to the Southwest and obligate host to the tomato hornworm, so it's popular with pollinators. And while the flower smells good, the leaves kind of smell like chode, so up to you if you want to introduce it to your garden. It is pretty and it's going to bring a lot of bees and moths, but it is going to stink, and if you have pets, you might want to keep this one away. And then a little closer to the river, I found a bunch of, I'm actually not sure what these are. It's some kind of wild grain, and there was this big old grasshopper on it. He was super cool looking. Glad to be able to see this fella. Then I got looking a little bit closer and I started seeing a whole bunch of like ladybird beetle larvae, and so that was cool, and I was trying to see if I could find the actual beetle. And I found some of these fairly mature looking ones actually here on this salt brush. And then I found one that I think is molting into its adult form, and that was just really cool to be able to see. That or it's getting itself put on the Epstein list with this other one, but well, I think it looks like it's emerged and it closed. And while I was out there, I also found tamarisk. This is invasive and it needs to go. It got imported by settlers because it's pretty and drought tolerant, but it chokes out the native species, so there are efforts by the Bureau of Land Management to have it removed. They've just been working at it so long and there's still so much of it, and it's just rough. Invasive species can do so much damage so quickly, but it takes so long to rehab the land afterward. And to give you an idea of how quick these grow, they're like 7 feet tall and they were not here 6 months ago. This big honkin' beast, however, has been here for like 3 years, and it is the most magnificent Sacred Datura bush I have ever seen in my life. So part of its life cycle is that it reaches towards the end of the season like this, and everything from the root up just kind of keels over. The leaves and seed pods all fall down, and that ends up kind of thermoregulating as it overwinters. And the husk it leaves behind becomes this sort of protective cage that keeps the root and the eventual developing new plant safe. And then as the new plant forms, it kind of builds on the skeleton of the old one, which makes it bigger and stronger. This is my favorite flower. I just think it's amazing. Then I came across this just staggeringly big honey mesquite. And this thing must have been like 25 to 30 feet tall and wide. Now, I don't know what happened here, but somebody came in and just chopped this poor tree up. I don't know if it was already damaged and they came in and just wanted to break it apart, but I also know some people come out here and camp and they just love the idea of fresh firewood. Probably the same dudes who will say they love nature and then toss their beer can into the fire. And thankfully they left behind 2 really strong trunks and a lot of the cuttings, so there's still habitat available, but a tree this size is like a whole city for the animals that live in the area. Also, I think this might be the biggest tumbleweed I've ever seen. This thing is so big I had to use the like 0.5 zoom to show me holding it. The thing's giant. It's also not native. It comes from the Russian steppe, which makes it one of the few plants you can find in New Vegas and pathologic. And then since I mentioned it before, I did want to make sure I showed what the seed pods of a screw bean mesquite look like, and you know, they look like screw beans, so it's pretty easy to find them. And then as I was looking at a few of the other ones that were around here, I came across this nest. It was a little small and haggard looking, so I didn't expect to find anything in there, and well, wouldn't you know, I didn't. There was nothing. Anticlimactic, I know, but I wasn't gonna, leave you wondering. And then also a desert willow, which is not a true willow, and while it is native to the Southwest, it has a little bit of a strange zone because it's kind of married to the washes and the rivers. And so it can be found in parts of California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Mexico. But if you do live in those areas and you want this plant, I got good news because you just gotta wait. These things bloom like crazy and pollinators go bananas for them, so you get tons of these pods. And then inside the pods, there are these wispy, floaty, almost dandelion-like little seeds. And then as these dry and crack open, the seeds will disperse like 6 streets over. They go far. I've had so many volunteers. This is a really easy plant to get if you live in the Sonoran or Chihuahuan desert, and it's also easy to find here in the Mojave.